Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and I stepped into my tippy toes so you could see part of my shirt. Why? I don't know. It's a Star Wars shirt, and I haven't got to wear a proper Star Wars shirt for a proper Star Wars episode of this in months. The last Star Wars related thing we've had on Disney Plus was back in May, and that was Attack of the Clones. So this is special to me. I try to match my shirts with sometimes when I can with what I'm watching, and obviously Star Wars is part of Disney, and so now I get to wear this. So it's an old school Darth Vader shirt. Some of you might recognize. So, Star Wars Rebels. This is the Disney XD original series, directed by Dave Filoni and a crew that pretty much, I think, moved over from the Clone Wars series, which was suddenly ended just for this Rebels thing. It was all a matter of timing, and it was not accidental. They wanted a series that fit in with a number of things that were happening at the time. And you can see a lot of stuff crossing over into Rebels. There is so much, even just in the first few episodes, there's some prequel stuff, there is some original trilogy stuff, and it's obviously Clone Wars stuff too. But some Clone Wars stuff is to come. There's even some Rogue One characters showing up here, even some Galaxy's Edge stuff. Actually, a character that we got to know in Clone Wars who appears in Smuggler's Run in Galaxy's Edge in Disneyland and Disney World. Hondo, he has a regular series of appearances on this show, just as he did with Clone Wars. He has a history with Kenobi, and he'll have a history with these guys too. For people who like EU, expanded universe, old school legacy stuff, Vizago, a character that's created in the comics, shows up in the very first episode as a smuggler, which, yeah, he's a pretty much scum and villainy himself. But what we're really introduced to in the very first episode is this young kid living on a planet called Lothos. Why have I completely blanked on that suddenly? I should know these. Star Wars is in my blood. Anyway, he's just living on the edge of town, fighting for scraps, messing with the Imperials, who he does not like, and he's suddenly, as he's doing his thing, he comes across a bunch of other people who seem to be bothering the Imperials as well, as they try to steal Imperial crates full of important goods. He doesn't know what they are, but this kid named Ezra decides, you know what? If everybody wants this stuff so bad, it must be worth something. And so he decides to steal it from the thieves, who, by the way, people say this is very much a kid's show, and it is. It is just as the Clone Wars was when it started out, was very much a kid's show, and it is meant to be entry-level stuff for new Star Wars fans, which is great, which is absolutely what every new Star Wars project should be. It should be accessible by everybody, even kids who may not know what all this hype is about, that their dad and mom and uncle and aunt and grandparents all love and obsess about, and got tattoos and t-shirts and everything else. Yeah, this is a great way. These kind of stories are a great way to enter kids in, because they like cartoons, they like animated stuff, and this has got so many fantastical creatures and robots and worlds. Rebels is a great jumping on point if they haven't seen Clone Wars yet, which you should also, obviously start them out on. But when it comes to this, yeah, it's kid stuff for the most part, it seems like it. But I realize that there is a lot of explodey death in this. There's no blood. You never see somebody as easily dismembered as they are in all the other Star Wars films. You have to have at least one dismemberment in each film. But they blow up a lot of stormtroopers. They just send, a grenade down a hallway or down an alley, or they blow up some speeder bikes or whatever, and those guys are dead. So it's not like the kids will be like, oh my god, I love death now, but it's still some pretty violent stuff. This is not G.I. Joe cartoon where it's just people parachuting from the sky, shooting blue and red lasers at each other. and nobody hitting anything. It's there's stakes involved. There's people who are living with the death, with the loss of their family, and as a result of the violence perpetrated by the Empire. So, yeah, this is very much it's Rebels. It's very much an anti-imperial show. So, well, I'm not going to spoil too much for you because, I mean, there's a lot to go over, and I only watched 3 episodes. I've seen the entire series already, and I'm going to revisit it again probably in the next year or so because I also have a very strong feeling that elements in this are going to be showing up in The Mandalorian. Little things, possibly, but I'm betting we're going to see a little bit of things that Dave Filoni seeded throughout these series that he's created, and he's also a huge part of The Mandalorian. So, yeah, do not you'll. I think a lot of you will be told which episodes to watch to link back to whatever you discover in the upcoming episodes of The Mandalorian. So, just letting you know now. So anyway, Ezra runs into these thieves, and it turns out that they're rebels, their own. They're rebel terrorist group, at least in the Empire's eyes. But they're there to steal the crates, and they're not doing it for violent reasons. They're doing it to feed a colony of people who were left stranded, and their families and their towns and everything else destroyed by the Empire when they showed up. So it's a mission of mercy. The crates are full of food, and Ezra suddenly realizes these guys aren't so much thieves as they are heroes in a sense. And Ezra learns a little bit about something, about each of them as they go along. He doesn't get along with Zeb, who is the big purple guy, Zeb Aurelius. He's of a race that's been pretty much all but wiped out by the Empire. He might be the very last one. We have Hera, the pilot, and seems like she's in a relationship with Kanan. Kanan seems to be like the leader, and he's this taller. I don't know. He's got a little bit of mystery about him. Well, if you've seen the promo stuff, and you can see. Well, this is a later picture. Let's ignore that. But let's just say there's lightsabers involved, and Kanan has a strong familiarity with lightsabers, and we're in a point now that Jedi are gone, and they've gone underground or they're dead. And in fact, the very first character we see in this series is Darth Vader. We kind of forget that. We're excited about, yes, Darth Vader does show up again later in the series, but the very first face, the very first voice we hear is Darth Vader. And he's sending out his Inquisitors. This is basically their fallen Jedi to hunt down the remaining Jedi, if they even still exist. And that will set up some conflicts going forward, especially with Kanan and a somewhat very force-sensitive Ezra here. So he's holding a lightsaber, isn't he? They don't give that to just anybody. Some people steal them, like General Grievous. But, and then we also have a Mandalorian there, and Sabine. So, there's going to be a lot of Mandalorian lore throughout this series. So if you like Mandalorians, you might want to pay attention to Rebels. A lot. There's more in this series about Mandalorians than even the Mandalorian so far, and even Clone Wars. So yeah, if you're holding off on this because it's for kids, it's not. I just don't like the way it looks. Time to get over yourself. It's Star Wars, and Star Wars to me is a genre all on its own. So it's and it can adapt to any genre. So Star Wars is a universe just made for telling fantastical stories and adventure, and there's nothing that can't be told, that can't be learned, that can't be expressed within the Star Wars universe, and I kind of like that a lot. And Rebels does a great job of it. Just like Clone Wars, it gets better as it goes on. This is 4 seasons. It went from 2014 to 2017. Uh, in itself, it also ended pretty quick. I was there in the room when Dave Filoni at Star Wars Celebration said, "Yeah, we're going to end it after season 4." And we're all just like, "What? We were just getting into it." We thought it would go on forever. Well, we know he's had other plans, other responsibilities since then. And I don't think we've seen the last of these characters. So, yeah, by the way, Chopper, also their astromech droid, he's an older model. Um, you're going to R2D2 is my favorite droid, but you're going to have a lot to love about Chopper. He's got more attitude than any other droid we've seen in the past. Um, did I get everybody? Yeah, that's pretty much the whole crew. And by the way, the first 2 episodes are a two-parter that really just sort of brings the team together, introduces you to who they are, and starts them on a mission. They even introduce some of their main recurring villains throughout in an Agent Callus, which you will see a lot of in the years to come. And the great thing is that each of these characters evolve and change over the 4 years. It's not just, hey, season 1, Ezra and Kanan and Hera and Sabine and Zeb and Chopper. Well, Chopper pretty much stays the same. It's not like they all are the same characters in season 4. There's a lot of change that happens. And there's a number of characters you'll recognize besides the ones I've already told you before. There's certain ones that that you might, if you've seen Clone Wars, you will see again. I can't say who. You probably know if you're a Star Wars fan, but even if you've decided not to watch this, I think it's I can't recommend this enough. It's just time for you to watch it, and especially maybe in preparation for what's to come in The Mandalorian, or when you're all done with The Mandalorian, then come back and visit this and help make some sense of the things you might have discovered. By the way, the Darksaber, which we saw at the end of season 1 of Mandalorian, plays a part in this. So yeah, but Rogue One. There's so many elements to Rogue One that tie into this. I don't know what else I can say to really sell it to you. It's if you don't like the animation style or whatever, that's something that can be easily gotten over, because I think you'll love the characters and you'll love the stories. And yes, while they're aimed mostly at younger kids, you're going to see it mature as each season goes, and it gets intense. And you'll find stuff here that you'll find almost nowhere else in the Star Wars saga, which is kind of cool. And even with hints all the way to the last trilogy. So, all right, I've said enough about that. I love Star Wars. You probably do too, and if you don't, it's time to fall in love. Probably want to start with Clone Wars, but Rebels should be a quick follow-up. Let's pick tomorrow's episode. Come on.
47.
47. Oof. Dropping way down. Go away. 47. 47. A lot of scrolling. Okay. Well, it's a series. It's like a live action. Usually the red on here means documentary or a reality series. So I think this is a reality series. We'll watch a few episodes. I know it's not a single thing. I'm pretty sure it's not. But let's take a look at Be Our Chef. Be Our Chef. Be Our Chef. All right. Be Our Chef is the next thing on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow. See you then. Bye.